All right, guys, here we are. Officially made it to none other than the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon and my 21st state park for my state park series, if you're following along. And this is pretty much the first view or vista you get upon entering Colton Point here. And as we look down, you can see Pine Creek kind of meandering on through the valley. The snow is starting to melt. The cloud inversion is pretty much gone for the day. But you can see some snow up in the higher elevations there. And if you can make out that kind of rock cliff out in the distance there, that's actually Leonard Harrison State Park that we'll be heading to tomorrow. But as I said, we're going to focus primarily on Colton Point today. Unfortunately, due to the weather and the seasons, the trail I wanted to do today, known as the Turkey Path, which takes you all the way down to the bottom to Pine Creek, is closed until April, unfortunately. So we're going to focus on a trail known as the Rim Trail, which is about a mile long and follows obviously along the top of the rim of the Grand Canyon. So we'll get some awesome views and sights along the way. So hopefully you guys enjoy State Park number 21 here at Colton Point. All right, so we're going to go and try to find the trailhead now. I'll see you there. All right, well, here we are officially at the Trailhead parking area. And as you can see, this park is jam-packed today. It was pretty hard finding a parking space. But yeah, we've pretty much had this entire park to ourselves. I think we've only seen maybe one other car all day. But I'll quit my rambling now, and here is the start of the Rim Trail. Sam is in yet another jacket to start this trail off. So I believe this is about a 1 mile loop trail, and we'll be popping out over there in about an hour or two. So the rain / snow mix is continuing on here, but making for an interesting day, to say the least. So yeah, let's go check out some awesome views here at Colton Point State Park.
I don't like this. I always take me on the swampy hikes.
Well, as you can see here, pretty rough and rugged trail full of big roots and rocks and everything else, waterfalls, ice. And that kind of brings up my point. It's pretty wild out here. And we are actually in the Pennsylvania wilds, that it's known as, north of I-80. It encompasses like something crazy like 300, maybe more, 300,000 acres of land, 27 state parks, and just a lot of options, including through hikes, camping, everything you can possibly think of. The area is known to have some of the darkest skies east of the Mississippi. If you've ever heard of Cherry Springs State Park, that's also part of the wilds. And it also has, I believe, the largest active elk population east of the Mississippi. And yeah, you could tell that this place is just a little bit different. It has kind of national park feels, and absolutely worth the nearly 5-hour drive for us, wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're going to continue on this trail, and eventually we'll be rounding this bend up ahead and hike along the rim of the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon here at Colton Point on this snowy January day. Wonder what happened here. All right, well, here we are. Made it to the waterfall as we descend into the gorge here. As you can see, we've dropped a few 100 feet in elevation. Little info on the gorge itself. It's 800 feet deep. So from the rim down to Pine Creek itself is 800 feet. So we'll be trying to head all the way down. Going down is the easy part, you know. Coming up will be the challenge, but we'll see. If it's too crazy, we'll probably just turn around. So let's see what the view looks like up ahead here. How's it look? Well, this rim trail definitely lives up to its name, as you can see, hiking literally along the ridge line here before we cut around this corner and we get some spectacular views of Pine Creek just up ahead. And believe it or not, if you're here back in the 1800s, I believe right where we're hiking this trail, there was a old steam train that came through this area to haul logs down to Williamsport. So this area, like so many others, I'm sure you're tired of hearing it if you follow my channel, this area was all logged and pretty much destroyed, known as one of the Pennsylvania deserts, if you can imagine. No trees here, no wildlife. White-tailed deer didn't even exist here. They actually had to import them from Michigan. That's how just destroyed this ecosystem was back in the 1800s. But yeah, try to imagine that. Right where I'm walking right now would have been an old railroad line carrying logs and bark down to Williamsport, where there were I think like over 200 sawmills and whatnot. So we'll talk a little bit more about the history of this park once we get to the next overlook here. Alrighty, well, the moment you've been waiting for. This is the first of 4 overlooks, I believe, along the rim trail. So let's take a look here over the cliffside and peek on down and get a view of beautiful Pine Creek here. There you have it. You can even see a little waterfall there in the distance, as well as Leonard Harrison State Park up along that rock ledge. So a little information about the canyon if you're curious. It's around 800 feet deep from here down to the creek, and around 4,000 feet wide. So not quite as grand as the Grand Canyon, but hey, we're in Pennsylvania, so you can't really beat it. And then down below along Pine Creek, you can see what they call the Pine Creek Rail Trail. And that trail has been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. The Indians would have used that to get from point A to point B. The Susquehannock Native Americans kind of beat that trail down, and then it was used during the CCC era, as well as for the loggers that cut down all the surrounding forest here. So as I said before, imagine back in the 1800s, none of these forests would have been here. It was known as the Pennsylvania desert. It's barren, there was no wildlife. The creek would have been polluted with tannin and sap from the cut down hemlock forests. And now we have this beautiful state park here. So a little bit of history about this. I'll talk a little bit more at the next viewpoint here. So. All right, and just like that, here we are at viewpoint number 2 along the rim trail here. And we'll take a peek over the railing here down to Pine Creek as it meanders on through the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. And I know I did mention the Susquehannock Native Americans that called this home back in the 1400s, 1500s, and so on and so forth. But believe it or not, there were native folks that lived in this area long before them, dating back to 10,000 BC, if you can believe that or not. Stone tools were found, burial mounds, and pottery were all located all throughout this gorge area. So this was prime hunting ground, and people have enjoyed this area for a long time. Hard to really imagine how long people have lived in this area before. And yeah, we'll just take in some more views along Pine Creek here as we head on back to the parking lot. So we got 2 more viewpoints after this, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. So next stop will be viewpoint number 3. All right, see you guys there. And on to viewpoint number 3 as Sam stands along the edge of Pine Creek. And I will say this might be the nicest viewpoint that we've seen all day. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. Probably my favorite.
Yeah, it's pretty much dead on with Pine Creek, as you can see. And a little bit more information about the Pine Creek Trail down below. That's 62 miles, multi-use. You can take horses on it, bicycles, hike it, you name it. And there's another through hike trail here in the park that heads through this area as well as continues on. It's known as the West Rim Trail, and I believe it's around 30 miles. I'll put exactly how long it is, but that'd be cool, just to hike and backpack through this area. So yeah, this is officially the 3rd view, and I think me and Sam both agree probably the nicest view of the day so far. So we got 1 more view, and we'll be wrapping it up here from Colton Point State Park, and be heading over to Leonard Harrison tomorrow. So 1 more viewpoint. Well, we talked a little bit about the lumber industry as well as the Native Americans that called this area home, but I didn't really touch too much upon the CCC that helped shape this park and make it into what it is today. And where I'm standing now is an old CCC built pavilion. The CCC workers would have came here back in the 30s, 1935 I believe. Came out here, built stuff like this, as well as these old water fountains that you see scattered all around this park. If you're not too familiar with the CCC, maybe you haven't watched too much of my channel. I try to show as much CCC structures and whatnot as I can. But FDR essentially signed a bill back in the 30s called the New Deal to help the struggling American economy and help get these young males out into the workforce and give them a little bit of extra money. So these young guys would have came out into forests like this, helped plant trees, built pavilions, trails, you know, the infrastructure, bridges, you name it. So you could really thank these CCC boys for everything that we see around here, not only in Pennsylvania, but all around America. you name it, down to Texas, Florida, Utah. The CCC really helped establish what we have nowadays is the state park system. So whenever you see old pavilions like this and old water fountains and even the trails that you're walking on today, as well as the trees you're looking at, you can thank those CCC boys. So just another park that they helped establish here. And here's a better look at one of these CCC built water fountains that were built all the way back in the 30s. You know, there's probably a million people that walked by this and really didn't give it two thoughts, but yeah, that's the history behind this. You know, some young guy was out here in the 30s, back before any of these trees were here, and you know, built this. So cool little piece of Pennsylvania history here as we continue along the rim trail. And here we go, the fourth and final overlook of the day here at Colton Point. Drum roll, please. And there you have it. You can see where we'll be tomorrow, Leonard Harrison, along the cliffs over there. And you can see where we started the day, all the way down yonder at Barber Rocks. So that's going to wrap up this video. We talked a lot about the CCC, the lumber industry, the Native Americans that called this home. So that's going to wrap up this video. This is State Park number 21, if you guys are counting. Make sure you subscribe if you aren't already. Leave a comment, like the video. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. And we will see you next week from Leonard Harrison, right there, for State Park number 22. All right, guys, stay safe, and I appreciate all you out there. So, see you next week.
Bye.
Oh, the grouse.